Well, it's Friday, so let's make this a Friday to remember. We have joining us legendary Jeffrey Daniel, American dancer, singer, songwriter, choreographer, and a founding member of R&B vocal group Shalamar. He's live with us from our Abuja studio. Good morning, Mr. Daniel. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Good to have you. So let's make this a show to remember, a conversation to remember. Of course, I'm using the title of one of your popular songs, A Night to Remember, well, I'm using it for this conversation. There's a lot of history with you. By the way, I must mention that you don't look your age at all. You're nearing 70. You're nearing 70. Am I correct?
That makes me 5 years older than Nigeria, the independent Nigeria.
Amazing. And, you know, everything just works out great. Shalamar is returning to Nigeria after, what, about 40 years or thereabouts? And I'm talking about the whole group returning to Nigeria. You said you were relocating to Nigeria, I think it was 2011. So you are partly Nigerian, whether you like it or not, in spite of the fact that you grew up in LA, you've done great work. But I want to start from your story. Then we'll talk about Shalamar coming to Nigeria. You've worked with Michael Jackson. I mean, before the whole moonwalk thing, you were gliding in that sense. So give us a peek, particularly for the younger generation who have seen you as a judge, maybe a Nigerian idol, but like, I know this face. Give us a peek into your own history in the whole R&B space.
Okay, well, I grew up in Los Angeles, California. My mother, she was a single parent, and she played piano in the church, so I grew up in the church singing in the choirs and all that. That's where I got the music from. And I started dancing with my two older sisters and my mother. That's why I started dancing. Being that I was the youngest in the family, I didn't know that you're supposed to stop that and get a real job, so I continued doing it. And then the Soul Train television show came along in '71, and it was my life ambition to be a Soul Train dancer because I loved dancing so much. So I started dancing on the Soul Train television show, not knowing that they would start a Soul Train record company. And that's what they built, the group Shalamar around me. I'm the founding member of Shalamar. And so the rest is history. Along with Howard Hewitt and Jody Watley, we sold over, 25 million albums and things like that, and going around the world. We came here in '82, and that was a milestone for me to come back to Africa at that time. But we broke up in '83. Now that we've reformed again, and we've been performing around the world, mainly in Europe and Asia, places like that, and now it's time to reunite with our Nigerian audience again. So we're bringing it back. It's not just a concert, it's an event. And we're bringing back that. Shalamar is now the last of that era of the high-performance groups of the R&B era. You know, the choreography, the costumes, the band, the live band, the arrangements. It's going to be a magical event.
And it's beautiful that this is happening in Nigeria. It's happening very close to our Independence Day celebration. You're older than Nigeria in that sense, so it's okay. We'll take that. But how rigorous has it been for you? I know you can still bust a good move. I mean, it's always in the bloodstream. But how has it been transitioning from the era of music from 70s to the 80s, 90s, the 2000s, and now everything is on TikTok. You have to dance, you have to do all of that to promote your song. So how has it been for you still finding a way to stay relevant in spite of the changes in time? Must have been rigorous, or must be rigorous.
That's a good question. The main difference is the technology, as you mentioned. It's the technology and the new platforms that we're using now that has totally turned everything upside down and sideways and this way and that way. But the main thing is that we have indelible hits. We have evergreen hits that have stood the test of time. And it's that legacy of Shalamar hits that the people love. You know, the greatest compliment we've had was our music is a soundtrack to certain people's lives. And I can say that with Stevie Wonder's music, or, Paul McCartney, or the Jacksons. So to hear people say that about Shalamar's music, that is just so humbling. And I think that's what it is. And it's feel-good music. You know, if you listen to all the conversations that are going on in the news, what's happening in America now, and the things that are happening here, people need a respite. And Shalamar is that respite to come down, sing along, dance along, to feel good about just being alive again.
Interesting. I know that you only summarized, the journey from the beginning up until now, going through, the beginnings of Shalamar. It was interesting to note that you guys had been through a whole lot together. And since 1977, Shalamar Group is still performing, and you're performing in just a few days in Abuja. Give us an insight into what has been your staying power, because it's not, all groups that began in 1977 that are still active entertainers in 2025.
Well, I would attribute it to, I think, my faith in the Creator, my faith in humanity, and I'm a positive person. And people think, they say to me, Jeffrey, you still look so young, you still dance and that. I think that I still keep in tune with the child in my heart. We all have a child's heart, and I just keep in tune with that. My family, I'm so blessed. I have two daughters here now in Abuja, Jadia and Jenna, and a beautiful wife. And I stay close to my family, and I keep life simple, try to take care of myself. I'm not on some big kind of diet or workout program, but I just try to do the right things, and I try to take care of myself and pace myself. And I love life. I love people. I love humanity.
Interesting. But there's no way we'll have this conversation. We're not going to talk about Michael Jackson. 16 years down the line, he's passed. And sometimes it's always very interesting to hear people talk about personal relationship with icons, other icons, because you are an icon in your own right as well. And of course, the issue around, the story around you teaching Michael Jackson the moonwalk, or the backslide movement, as it's called. So talk to us about that relationship, that particular relationship. I don't know, I'm sure you've spoken about this over and over again.
Well, I mean, it's funny because now it's in a totally new context. Michael saw me doing the backslide in '79 on Soul Train with the group Eclipse that I put together. And then in 1980, he came to watch us perform at Disneyland. He brought little Janet Jackson, and they stood in the wing and they watched us dance. Then he asked me to teach him to dance. I choreographed a Bad video, Smooth Criminal video. I'm in the Beat It video, but just a little in it. And I went to Brazil with him for the They Don't Really Care About Us video. I worked on the Ghost. I worked with Michael over a 20-year period. And the last job I had in America was at MJJ Music, his record company, as A&R and creative consultant. And so, but the funny thing is, because my father didn't raise me, but in 2008, my father showed me my family tree and found out that I'm Michael's cousin. So all the years we were working together, I never knew that we were related to the Jacksons. And we know that now. So we now call each other cousin all the time. We speak Jermaine Jackson, Janet, and Randy, and the older sister, Rebe. We call each other cousin all the time. But all the time we were working, I never knew we were related.
That's very interesting. I mean, there's more revelations just happening on this conversation, right? I want to get some more personal information from you, right? Because I know once you're on stage, there seems to be that distance. All people see is the performer, the dancer, the choreographer, and a lot of people really want to just soak in into your personal life. You talked about how you stay in touch with a child in you, something I'm holding on to right now, because you're almost 17 and you're still a child at heart. But how are you able, and I want to use this carefully, how are you able to stay sustainable? Because some say music is, okay, let me use football as an example. There's the whole debate around footballers making a lot of money while they were playing, and they get to retire, and it just tanks, literally. And we've had examples time and again. Even musicians here as well. You have them in their glory days, riding all the big cars with the jewelries, and then after a while, they tank again. But that's not the same for you. George and Nigerian Idols, and I'm talking from 77. Bukola asked that. So how are you able to stay viable financially now? Did you make investments? Did you protect your, your IP and all of that? What is the secret to this?
That's a very good question, and I think a lot of the young people need to adhere to this conversation, because they have to understand that the life of the average entertainer, it can be between 5 and 10 years that you're, really relevant and at your peak. And there are exceptions that transcend the generations and transcend, through the decades. I'm kind of like I've been like a nomadic person. I was born and raised in America. I moved to the UK when I left Shalamar, so I was doing the musical Starlight Express. I did a movie with Paul McCartney. I was doing these. Then I moved to Japan. I had a production company. I was producing and choreographing. I hosted a radio show for 3 years in Japan, and Michael brought me back to America again. And now I'm in Nigeria. So I've been moving from continent to continent, not intentionally. It's just the path that my life took me on. But as a child, my mother always told us to be proud to be African. She always instilled that in us as a child. So I always had this thing in me that one day in my life I would love to work and live in Africa or do something in Africa. And that chance presented itself, and I took it. And I think that's the best choice I made in my adult life. I really do. Because not only that, I was so blessed because my daughter Jadea was born on my birthday, August 25th. She's 5 years old now. And then I have a 1-year-old, Jenna. She's 1 year old and 5 months. And I have an amazing family. I'm going to tell you guys something. I don't know about the other Black Americans, but they need to know this. When you come to Nigeria, you don't make friends. When you come to Nigeria, you make family. And I have family here. I have people here, family base that is just so amazing to me. Dr. Wada at the Nisa Hospital, the people at the Jabi Boat Club, the people at the Dune Center, my brother Sadina Dantata. I just have a big family base here with the Shehu Taraki family, Mama Sambo at El Amin International School, Ben Murray Bruce, who brought us here in '82, Tunde Babalola, my manager. I've had a Nigerian manager for over 20 years now, Tunde Babalola, and Bright Jaja of I Create Africa. I have family here. So I think I found my niche from going from America to the UK to Japan, but Nigeria, this is my niche. And you know what? I did not know that I am the very first Black American entertainer to come and stay here. I did not know that until I came.
Just give this man a national honor already. you need like national honors already.
And I'm sure that you're going to get one before you leave. So many amazing revelations coming through. Your cousins to the Jacksons. You taught them Michael Jackson the moonwalk. You have a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old at nearly 50. And you've stayed the course through the challenges. I'm spoiled for choice now, but tell us what to look forward to, on the 1st, and I believe you have another performance in Abuja in a few days. Can you still do the moonwalk, and are we going to get to see, the Shalamar perform A Night to Remember?
You're going to hear all the hits. We're going to do all the hits. Yes, I can still do the backslide, AKA the moonwalk. Howard Hewitt's vocals are on point. We have baby girl Carolyn Griffey with us now. She is the daughter of the Solar Record Company owner, and her mother, Carrie Lucas, was the first lady of Soul Train and Solar Records. So Carolyn's not new to us. That's why we call her baby girl. But, she's come in the group after Jody Watley. But she's been with us over 20 years now, so she's the longest standing female member in Shalamar. I hate to toot my own horn, but it's an amazing show. It's very exciting. We just came off a UK-American tour. We went to Spain, we went to Amsterdam. The people are up, they're dancing, they're enjoying themselves, they're bringing their grandkids and their children, and they're having the time of their life. It's a time to celebrate life. It's a time to celebrate life. And Shalamar is going to give you that. So you guys come out, you're going to have the time of your life.
Well, I don't know. Yeah. Jeffrey, do you want to put in the last word?
Yeah, I just wanted to find out from you. Okay, well, namesake now. My name is Jeffrey as well, so But I can't do the moonwalk, by the way.
All right.
I'll
teach you.
Yeah, I would love to learn. I'm a terrible dancer, but I would try, you know. But just before we let you go, there's something you said, and looking at your story and your history and what you've done, a little bit of an advisory to younger generation in terms of building a scalable brand as a creative. You can sing, you can dance, you can do all of this. Talk to us about building a scalable brand in just a minute.
About building a brand? Well, okay, the thing is, what you said, work on your craft, master your craft. Don't just get in the industry just to make money because, you know, currency, it's current, it flows. Fame is fleeting. So don't worry about that. As long as you master your craft, continue to try to perfect it as you go along. Don't just say, oh, I got a hit record out there, so I'm good now. I bought a car, I got some jewelry. No, that's not what it's about. Those things are just the byproduct of fame. But if you master your craft and you build a strong artistry around yourself, you will stand the test of time. You're not always going to be on the big stage, maybe, or you're not always going to sell #1 records, but you can still be performing at a certain level and still be in the industry doing things. And I think as we get older, we tend to become kind of like teachers and handing down to the younger generations and helping them along. And that's what I did on Nigerian Idol, and that's what I still do in my personal life. I still try to help the younger generation, you know, come along as well. And I think that's what it's about, really, not just trying to be the #1 or trying to be the big, because that's fleeting, you know. And as you said earlier, invest your money, invest it.
Priceless advice there. So Shalamar live in concert, Abuja, October the 4th, coincides with Nigeria's Independence Day celebration. So whether you're young, old, hey, go get your tickets, if there's still tickets available, because I know that people are rushing that ticket. We have to thank you so much, and I must comment on your outfit. It looks like a Moody Africa outfit. I saw it, and I'm like, I know this. Am I correct?
You're spot on. This is from my brother Moody. I've known him since 2010, and he is so amazing. I love his design. Thank you very much. This is Moody.
All right, so see you October 4th. It's going to be a night to remember. Thank you very much for the great work you do. Almost 70. We wish you the very best.
Thank you for having me.
Amazing. So don't forget, always be a child at heart. We'll take a moment now, and when we return, we have a Guinness World Record right here in our studio, and a record holder as well. Which of the records are we talking about? You find out in a few seconds. Stay with us.